Hello, friend. This is Legal Design Thinking in Real Life, a live series brought to you by Lawyers Design School, where we help legal teams and lawyers to adopt the skills and mindset of legal design. I'm your host, Hannele Korhonen, and I'm the founder of Lawyers Design School. This is a happy day. I'm here with Tessa Manuello, a creative powerhouse, the founder of Legal Creatives, among other things. And Tessa was actually one of the first guests I ever invited to visit these live sessions. So it's wonderful to make it finally happen. Tessa is one of those people that you cannot really miss if you're following what's happening in the legal design space. She brings so much color and creativity, a lot of creativity into this world, and it's amazing. And that is also conveniently our topic today, to talk about creativity in legal design. Hi, Tessa.
Hi, it's so great to be here on the show. Thank you so much for having me, and welcome everybody.
A classic question: where are you joining us from?
Well, I'm joining from home. Home is now in Brazil, although I never thought of myself living in Brazil one day, but it just happened sort of magically after the pandemic. Decided to change my lifestyle, and so I'm from home in my real/virtual studio with my virtual background. I hope you like it.
It's beautiful, and you should follow Tessa on Instagram and see the I don't know, the inspiring videos and updates on the beach life.
Yeah, lots of beach and surfing lately on my Instagram. Yeah, it's the summer time down here. I'm very excited to talk about creativity with you all.
Yes. And as a reminder for everybody who's watching live, you can use the chat to say hi and connect with the others, and also to ask questions that we try to then cover with Tessa. But so let's start with you, Tessa. Can you tell us something about you and your background?
Yes, sure. Well, I have a background in law. I started actually working in alternative dispute resolution, most specifically in arbitration. At the time, I was in Paris, France, where I was born and raised. And eventually, I sort of made my way to sort of go, I started with arbitration, and then I moved to mediation, and then I moved to prevention, and now I'm like in the contract design, legal design, proactive law space. So when I think about my career, it seems I've been, on the continuum of the dispute resolution, continuum for dispute resolution. It seems I've been already in this alternative space, but sort of moving away from the litigation and coming closer to the prevention aspect. And I think legal design works so well for that, especially when we think of all the design we do for contracts, legal docs, privacy policies, terms of use. I think it's so aligned with how I see myself work in the world of law, and how I see myself contribute in a positive way to also building better relationships. And I think this is a little bit my story of using this legal knowledge to build better relationships and not make them worse by going into this traditional adversarial system that can actually make things a lot worse. So that's a little bit about my background. I founded Legal Creatives in 2013 as the combination of my interest in law and in creativity. And since then, I've been building sort of a community of legal professionals from around the world who have a similar interest and who want to learn those skills to unleash their legal creative and be on this journey.
I love the word unleash the creative unleash the creativity. I think we can talk some more about that. So 2013 already, so that's a long way. How was the transition for you? How did you
So
end up
it's a great
doing the
question. I mean,
transition?
we could spend the entire life talking about the transitional aspect, because there's just so many elements and details and crunchy details too. But I'll keep it short, because I think we also want to talk more about creativity, the science behind it, and how anyone can unleash that creativity. But the transition was, it was quite a journey. I have to admit, it was quite a long journey, because at the time, we didn't have what we have today in terms of legal design community and name. When I first got to encounter this methodology, it didn't have the name legal design, or maybe it did, but it was not known at all. There was nothing on social media. We didn't have articles, let alone books. So my journey was quite slow, because I had to figure things out from scratch, basically. So 2013, I was at this creativity conference in Toronto, Canada, where I moved after working in arbitration. I moved to Canada to work in mediation and do other exciting projects in social justice and education as well. And in Canada, I discovered creativity was a structured methodology for solving complex problems and for innovation. And I had never thought of creativity that way. I only thought creativity was something we could use for the arts, for performance. And at the time, I was a little bit experimenting with improv and creative writing, but I never thought that we could use that for in a professional context. And then I thought, well, how about we use this in the law? So I started this journey back in 2013 to keep learning and keep exploring how we could use that in law. And eventually, years later, I was at the university, and one of the professors I was working with found an article around design thinking and law. And I think in one of the footnotes, there was something about legal design and Margaret Hagan in Stanford University. I was like, wow, this is just incredible. And then I started researching more and more and more, until eventually I just decided to consolidate everything I had researched into the Legal Creatives platform, the courses and programs, and just really dive in, because I feel like this is my ikigai, Japanese concept for the purpose of life. And I was like, this is me. This is creativity law together, teaching and helping people ignite the spark, and then be able to use that however they want to use in their work as professionals working in law, whether they are lawyers or even other professionals, but interested in working with the law, redesigning the information and making it more accessible, more engaging, more memorable. But yeah, it was a long journey. It was not an easy journey, but as I reflect back, I really enjoyed it. Learned so many things along the way.
Thank you for sharing. Yeah, the best journeys are usually quite long and hard, but then very, very rewarding, I think. Well, let's talk about creativity. As you already said, that it's. Did you say that you found that it was a structured way of problem solving, or what was the definition that you used?
Absolutely.
How would you create? How would you define creativity? And how does it relate to legal design?
Yeah, it's a great question. How to define creativity? Yeah, I think it's a very structured methodology for solving complex problems and innovating. So I think that could be a good start for a definition of creativity. It's creativity is not this thing that artists definitely have a lot of creativity, but this is art. Creativity is not necessarily art, actually. When you think about creativity, it's just reflecting on what already exists and searching for the new, trying to improve things, trying to bring new ideas into the world. When you think of the greatest innovators of this world, for example, Steve Jobs, he said, everything you see in the world has been created by other people that were not smarter than you, just people who just dared to try something new and take it seriously enough that it became a thing. It became a laptop. It became like an iPhone or something else, And I think in law, we have sort of not given ourselves permission to allow to explore the new, because we're always going back in time for the precedent, looking at the past decisions, looking at the books that exist in the doctrine that are also based on the precedent. So we're always looking backwards, and we're sort of not allowing ourselves to try new things, to do things differently, because everything is sort of very rigid. But today, with everything that we see happening in the world, with all the complex challenges we have to solve, and also the crisis of the justice system that is just so slow. I mean, some countries are better than others, but generally it's quite slow. It's extremely frustrating for the litigants, for the users of the system. And at the end of the day, it's not necessarily solving problems. Sometimes it makes them worse. I have experienced this firsthand when I was a teenager. My parents divorced, and it was just a nightmare. It took years and years and years, and in the end, it was just terrible experience. One of the reasons I went to law is because my mom said, "You have to figure out the law. Look at this world. This is a mess." I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna do it. I don't know if I can fix your problems, but I'll figure something out." But I realized practicing as a traditional lawyer would not have helped me solve those problems, because then you're trapped in a system that is broken. So if the system is broken, then we have to either build a new system, and this is how alternative dispute resolution, came to be created, and alternative ways of resolving disputes. But it's not an ideal way either. And eventually I found out about this legal design, and legal design can really help prevent those problems and make sure that we can use our creativity to find a new way to draft a contract, which doesn't have to be artistic, but can be new and can be different and can be better, because it's clearer for the parties to understand how the relationship is going to work, because we're using some elements of visuals that clarify some of the complex concepts, and also because of the language we use that is not just technical but also more accessible for the readers. So that's why, in a nutshell, I think creativity is such the a perfect tool for legal professionals, but also for people working with legal operations and legal technologies, because in those roles you have to search for the new. You're trying to build efficiency, so you're trying to streamline processes. So you already using your creativity, but maybe you're not doing it intentionally. And once you know how to do that with a structure, a process, tools, and techniques, it just gets easier, it gets better, and it helps you design a new way of practicing the law and delivering the service.
Exactly. I love the way to also describe that maybe one of the challenges that legal professionals have, that our profession is like based on looking back, look at the precedents and traditions, and creativity, and legal design is really about looking ahead, and even looking around the corner, things that you cannot really even imagine existing yet.
Yes, the
And that
search for
takes
the
a lot
new
of
is
different kind of thinking.
absolutely. You can search for the new in so many ways. You can get inspiration by so many things, other industries too, or other fields of law, and look at what people do and how can you use some of that. It's just the same. Like, if we're going back to the arts and the artists, that it's just a remix of whatever already exists. When you think of music, they're just remixing what already exists, take some inspiration and bring their own style, and of course their own musicians, and then create something new, but it's based on what already exists. So in law, what already exists is this traditional block of text that nobody really understands, nobody really reads, and works very well in case a judge has to make a decision, but the judge is not the primary user. He's the user that is going to intervene if everything goes wrong. So we're designing with this in mind. We're designing that, okay, everything is going to go wrong, and how are we going to solve the problem? Instead, the proactive law approach and movement is teaching us, well, let's just design to make things work. And yes, if it doesn't work, well, of course, we have everything in place to ensure legal protection. But let's just focus first on making things work for our users, for our clients, for the parties. And so in that search for the new, creativity helps. And the more you use it, the more you have it. It always grows, and it gets faster and easier. And anyone can do it. I never thought of myself as a creative person, never. Until one day I had the space to kind of look at myself and my situation and reflect. And because of the space that was created, and then I started just writing. I just wrote in a notebook. And then, oh, this is not bad. I was like, what is this? What is this? What are those words? It's just crazy what just came out of me, you know. And then I just kept writing and writing and writing. And then I was like, oh wow, I can do this. And then, you know, I found out anyone can do this. You know, anyone can creatively express themselves. The only thing is we need to stop censoring ourselves. We need to give ourselves permission to try. And that's what I learned in the improv world. I told you I've done improv, and improv is all about spontaneity and just, you know, on your feet coming up with ideas. Whatever comes to your mind, you just do it because you don't have time to think. So I think creativity is what happens when you suspend your judgment, when you stop thinking. I think John Lennon said that too. I think life happens when you're too busy thinking.
Yeah, busy doing other things. Exactly. So many great points there already, but and also ways how you could maybe tap into your creativity, like writing and suspending the judgment. I think one of the elements of creativity, but very challenging for legal professionals, is Whitespace, to have time for resting or doing nothing. Would you agree with this? And how have you found this in your own life and in your work?
Oh yeah, that's a great question. I love this. Yes, it's extremely difficult to make space in our busy life. Everyone is busy, especially lawyers. It's difficult, but it is possible. You can make the time, intentionally make the time to create that space for you to start breathing in life. I think when I was working back in the days in arbitration, I was never breathing. I was always constantly working from mornings to late nights. And then because of working so hard, I wanted to enjoy my life, and it was nighttime. So then I would go to the clubs. At the time I was in my 20s. I would go to the clubs in Paris, electronic music and all of that. And that was great. But then I just was on this crazy mode of working and partying. And I was like, is that really the purpose of life? And then you get tired, and then you get unhealthy. I was like, this is not how I see myself, you know, growing old. Although at the time I was just 20s, but I was already thinking this is not a good lifestyle. So then I started to make time for myself, to be by myself, to learn how to be by myself, how to love being by myself, not being lonely, but being alone, and embracing this, and looking at what's inside out. Then I eventually went for meditation retreats. There are some extraordinary retreats you can do. Some are really short. You can be like a half day or a 2-day. I went for the 10-day retreat. I'm really hardcore. I went for the 10-day Vipassana retreat. Not allowed to talk. You're not allowed to do nothing. Just meditate 10 hours a day. I did that twice. That was just amazing. Like the quality of insights you get, it's just amazing. It's just amazing. And of course, 10 days is a lot of time, but it's once in your life, 10 days for yourself. And the quality of insights you get, you cannot get that even with psychology, I think. I don't know. I've done psychology too, and I love it. But I found like you give yourself 10 days and you just meditate and you reflect, you come out transformed. So it's just about making the time. It's a choice. You can choose not to make the time or to make the time. What do you think?
Yeah, it's exactly so, and it's like it feels simple, but then when you actually do it, create space for yourself and try to sit in silence, for example, it can be challenging at first, but it's so rewarding, and it's like you start to find all these ideas, and it's never ending source when you actually find the source. It's like ideas, and that's what I've been loving about to follow your work, because you always have these new ideas that you bring out to the world. And I think this may be your one of your superpowers, that you have access to your creativity.
Yeah, no, I love to help other access their creativity, their creative superpowers, because everyone has this. We just forgot. Because let me ask you, and let me ask everyone who's live or watching the replay, before you were an adult, I'm pretty sure all of you were kids. I'm pretty sure about that. And when you were kids, I'm pretty sure none of you had problems with their creativity and imagination. I had my nephew who just visited, who's 7 years old, and it's just crazy the amount of creative ideas and imagination and how we play as kids. We just forgot about that. Especially if we become lawyers and we work in law, this is no space for creativity and fun and imagination. But in fact, it's the contrary. Now that we are looking for ways to reinvent the profession and better serve the customers, we need more than ever before creativity, because this is the path for innovation. There can be no innovation without creativity, because creativity is the search for the new. So if you don't search the new, if you repeat what you've done in the past, that's insanity. That's not creativity, because you're looking for new results and all you get is the same frustrations, same problems. Or clients not understanding what's in the contract, asking for you to clarify, wasted time for you, wasted opportunities for them. It's time to change. And clients love it. Clients love this new approach. Maybe not every client, but at least 90% of the people I talk to, they're like, wow, we can do that. It's great.
Yeah, I'd love to see chat comments about creativity in law. What's your experience or view? How we can be more creative in law?
How we can be more creative in law? Do you want me to answer this question?
Yes, you can answer, and then let's hope that the people watching are also active, proposing
that would be great.
Some of their own experiences.
I mean, I have a little activity we can do together. I'm going to share my screen.
Yes.
I think it's a good way to break the ice and go a little bit deeper into this concept of creativity. This is one of the creative techniques I first discovered back in 2013 in Toronto. And if you were to use this for creativity, so the topic for today would be creativity. All right. So that's the topic. First, we're going to focus on what are all the things that we know about creativity. So I'm going to ask for some audience participation on the live. Even if it's watching replay, you can leave a comment under this video. And Hannele, of course, we're going to do it together. What are the things you know about creativity?
I know it's important.
I love that. It's important. Why is it important? What makes it important to you?
Because it's the source for new ideas.
Source for new ideas. Love it. What else do you know about creativity, Hannele, and everyone watching live?
Everyone watching, please jump in also.
Awesome.
I think the problem solving is a good keyword also, that it's a way to solve problems.
Problem solving. What else do we know?
Hey, people, help me out here. What else do we know about creativity?
Oh, it's dreaming. I love it.
Dreaming,
Sarah?
yes.
Dreaming.
Drawing outside the lines. I love that.
Nico,
it's a process.
Oh, that's so great, Nico. Great to see you. It's a process. Anything else we know about creativity? What is it? What is creativity? What do we know about creativity? Easier than you think.
Oh,
I love wonderful. That. Easier than you think. Thinking outside the box. Oh, I love that. Simplify the jargon. That's good. Simplifying. What else we've got? John Cleese was the book that opened your mind to creativity. So that's what Akitree is saying. He studied law in Cambridge and became a comedian. Yeah, you see? That's great, isn't it? Creativity is limitless. Love it. It's about ideas. Some people say it's a gift. Juliet, not entirely sure about the gift aspect. I'm going to talk more about that after we finish this activity. We even have someone who says makes me happy. So this is great. So this was the first step, what we know about creativity. Now we move to the second step, the wonders. What do we wonder about creativity? What is it we don't know yet about creativity we wish we knew? I know it's a hard one to know what you don't know, but this is the door for creativity and innovation. What is it that you wonder about creativity, Hanele?
Where does it come from?
Oh, I love it. And what about the audience? What is it that you don't know about creativity you wish you knew? Let us know in the comments. Can I do it myself? Yeah. I love it. How it works. I love it. How we can enhance it. Oh, I love this activity. What else do we wonder?
Can everybody do it? Is someone asking? Yeah.
Do you have some wonders, Hanele? It usually takes more time to think about the wonders. It's normal.
How can I have creativity? There's a question. Did you see that?
Yes. Yeah. How can I catch it? How can I help people do it with me? You see, can I engage my clients in the creative process? That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Among those ones, we're going to try to pick, let's say, one or two that we believe is very important. I think for the voting part, because we are live on YouTube and LinkedIn and all of that, I think it's going to be easier for you, Hanele, to make the votes, because usually I have everyone put the votes wherever they want on the board. But today, because of the context we have, I'm going to ask you, Hanele, to pick one of those questions, maybe 1 to 3 that you believe would be really important to know the answer. The answer would be really helpful to you and to the community. What do you think would be one of those wonders?
I think there is a theme that many of the questions relate to this, how to have more of it, like how to enhance it. So maybe we can pick that one, because that could maybe answer many of the questions.
How can we enhance it? I'm going to use that one. I'm going to move to the what if section. The what if section is what is going to become possible for us once we know how to enhance it. That was the most voted item, how to enhance it. I'm going to just keep one. What would be the benefits for us to know how we could enhance our own creativity and how we could also bring others on board? Hanele, what benefits would we get out of this? What are the positive impacts that this is going to make, or difference is going to make?
We could find ways to change the legal profession. Is that too wide?
Find ways to change the legal profession. Oh, I like what Nicole is saying in the chat. The communication as well. We would have better communication. What else? What benefits if we knew how to enhance our creativity?
There is find innovative solutions.
Radical collaboration. I love that. This is a concept that I think folks talked a lot at the Legal Design Summit in 2023. I was not there, unfortunately, but I've heard a lot about it. Yeah. Radical collaboration. And you've talked about innovative solutions in law, right? So if we knew, eliminate boredom is a good one. So if we do that in the positive, because I like to talk about in the positive way, because it's much easier to take action on the positive than, how do I get less bored? By having more fun, right? So I'm going to transform the boredom into having more fun. Sounds good? So if we knew how to enhance creativity, we would be able to collaborate much better with each other, with our clients, and potentially with other professionals too. We can think of designers, or we can think of artists. There are actually many artists who've been working with lawyers, creating amazing projects. Why not? Collaboration would be easier. We could make the profession much better because we would communicate in a way that is more effective. We would be able to find and implement innovative solutions, and all of that would help us have more fun. Deborah also said we wouldn't get stuck. So if we wouldn't get stuck, again, shifting into the positive, what would not getting stuck being the positive? We would fast track innovation, right? So that's pretty good, right? So that's the what if. That was the step 3. And now the last step is the how might we, which is a magical formula we use in creativity, in design thinking. How might we enhance the creativity? Because now we know that it's an important. How might we enhance our creativity? And I'm going to add the so that and include a little bit of benefit so that we can better collaborate with our team, clients, and other professionals to make the legal profession better, fast track innovation, and have more fun. Right? So this is our how might we problem statement. So in creativity and innovation, we always start with a problem statement because creativity is not just about finding new ideas. It's about solving problems first. So based on the conversation, the most critical topic is how to know how to enhance the creativity. So we can collaborate better, so we can communicate better, so we can make the profession better, so we can fast track innovation, so we don't have to get stuck and we can have more fun. Elizabeth would really love that. I see Aneta says it's not reserved for artists only. Not at all. Anyone is creative. Everyone is creative. We just forgot about it. Now, of course, if we were in a real process, we would continue and say, okay, now we would go into another brainstorming board and work on that specific question. But this is not the point for today. The point for today was to have this opportunity to discuss with you and the community about creativity. What is it we know? What is it we don't know? And if we had the answers to our questions, then what would become possible for us? And this is where the motivational part kicks in. Now we are a lot more motivated to know the answers about enhancing our creativity because we see we're going to benefit so much, right? So how do we enhance creativity? You're lucky because I know a thing or two about creativity because I've studied it since 2013. Not necessarily in an academic way. I really self-taught myself, went to conferences, read so many books, and did my own research too. I actually did my own academic research on the intersection of creativity and dispute resolution. And so I'm going to start with where it comes from because I love this question from Hannity. Where it comes from, creativity. It comes from psychology. Did you know that? In 1950, it was Guilford, a psychologist, who made the first speech at the American Psychology Association about creativity as a way to solve problems when people get stuck. Someone was saying, oh, we get stuck. And when we get stuck, it's often in our minds, right? We're just stuck here. So to unstuck, he made this research around creativity in psychology, and that is the starting point of many, many, many more research that shows us, yes, we can enhance it, And it doesn't have to be painful at all. It doesn't have to be long at all. It's actually fairly quick and fun. And to do that, there are creative games you can do. Creative games you can do to unleash your creativity. There's one I like to do. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it right there. Maybe if I draw something. I'm improvising right now. If that's okay, Haneli.
Of course.
I'm going to improvise something. I never really
To use your creativity to improvise.
yeah. I didn't improv, so I'm not good. So I want you to take a piece of paper and I want you to draw this. Hanele, please do it with me. You
yes,
can take
I have
phone. I want you to draw this. It's an incomplete drawing. It is not finished. It is for you to finish it. And this drawing could be anything you want it to be. And I would encourage the audience to do it. It's really fun. And it's actually scientific. This is one of the game that people do when they take the creative test. They're called the Torrance test for creative thinking. And so based on what you can come up with, you will see how much creativity you have today. And by just drawing and iterating, and you can enhance your creativity. So let's take a look at Hanne. Did you finish yours already?
Yes. I don't know if you can see it. It's a star.
Oh yeah, it's a star. Love it. This is great. A star. What the audience has. Let us know in the chat what is it you found out. Maybe you got a star. Maybe you got a fish. Maybe you got a shark. Maybe you got a happy jazzy hands man. I don't know. Maybe you got a spider. Those are the few of the drawings I have seen. Nicole has a cat. That's great. You have a cat, and maybe you do it another time. You do the same drawing again, this little thing here. You do it again, and maybe you have something else now. You do something else. And creativity is not about finding the right answer. There is no right or wrong answer to what this drawing can be. It could be anything you want it to be. The creative answer is to have many possible answers. And that's so funny because it just reminded me in our courses and programs when I teach people, even for the legal design visualization, people come up with so many different ways to design the same piece of information. And every single time people are just mind blown. They're like, what? This person did it that way. I never thought of this, but it actually makes sense. It works. So the creativity is just exponentiated when you are with a group. Anyone can be creative alone. You can enhance your creativity by yourself. There are many creative games you can do like this one. There are other techniques you can use. And one of those techniques is the one we just did together, the no wonder quest. That's a creative problem-solving technique, understanding the problem to solve before jumping to solutions. That's a creative problem-solving technique. There are so many other techniques.
Perfect exercise.
Yeah, isn't it? Someone has a flat cat. So people have open color of a dress. I love it. And so creativity is the search for the new. And so I'm going to tell a funny story. I'm going to stop sharing for a moment. And I remember one day I was teaching at university creativity. It was a Sunday morning. I don't know why they had classes on Sunday morning, but it's important for you to know because I went to the university, which was really far. And because it was Sunday, I mean, there was no one there except just maybe, the concierge and me and the students. And I remember being there in the class and realizing, just thinking about it, I had my heartbeat thinking, I forgot the sticky notes. I forgot the sticky notes, but I had them. I had prepared everything. Everything was in the bag at the doorstep. But when I went out, I just left the bag with the sticky notes home. And I was like, how am I going to do this? And well, creativity taught me nothing is impossible. And then I pulled a technique I remembered, and I had people do the creative activity without Post-its, just using sheets of papers and passing the sheets of papers and having everyone collaborate on the same sheets of papers and passing them around. And it worked so well. So anything is possible. You just have to trust yourself, and you just have to allow yourself to try, and be humbly confident that that you can make this work. And
And I
eventually, the
think
more you
there is this moment when immediately you get this thought of I don't have anything, it's blank, I'm stuck. But because the next thought can already be that yes, I can do this, yes, I can do that, but you just have to go through the first thought. I don't know if that is
yeah,
your advice or
absolutely.
your
So we
experience.
absolutely. So we're going back to the improv. We're going back to spontaneity. We're going back to allowing ourselves to experiment, to try something different, to try something new, and not censoring ourselves, not staying in that stuck space, which is not nice for us and not nice for others as well. So whenever, maybe you give speeches on stage. I'm sure you do speak to lots of audiences, and sometimes maybe you have a blank. Sometimes you're like, oh, what was my next thing? And you just trust yourself, because of course with experience everything gets easier and better, and you just go for the next logical thing that comes to your mind, instead of getting stuck and trying to have everything perfect and everything right. So I think creativity is liberating. It's also helping you connect more with yourself, with your essence, your true essence. And it's helping you bring something to the world that possibly no one else could. I mean, everyone has our own gift, and we talked about talents earlier, although I don't believe being creative is a talent, because anyone can enhance it. It has been proven by research and science. We even have empirical studies. Anyone can find the creativity, and anyone can reinforce that creativity. Maybe some people are more inclined for creativity because it's just easier. Like for some people, it's easy to do math. For me, it's easier to do creativity, you know.
And maybe you've done it more than someone else. It's
And I've
also
done it
this.
more as well. Absolutely. So it gets easier and easier the more you do it. Sometimes people say, oh, you have to work on your math. No, because other people can do math for me. I'm going to focus on my strengths. I'm going to focus on creativity. The better I get, the more difficult it's going to be to beat me at creativity. It's not a competition. But if you want to, really offer something unique, then focus on your strengths. And maybe for some of you, your strength is not necessarily creativity, but knowing a little bit of creativity is going to help you in so many ways. And this is why I'm so passionate about this. And this is why I love what I do. And it's my ikigai. And
Yeah, it
everyone would benefit a
shows.
little bit of creativity. What is it?
Yeah, it shows that you love what you do, and it's very the energy is there, and then it's so inspiring. And this is also what I think it's so wonderful about doing these creativity exercises, that even in work context and in, I don't know, in some boorish with boring conferences, whenever you pull out some creativity exercise, even though it's just a short, I mean, people's eyes are just like opened, and they are so inspired to do
Yeah.
more thinking and
It's
collaboration and everything.
igniting the sparks.
Yes.
And then once the spark is ignited, people can go really far. I have seen
Yeah.
people I have trained some years ago, and today it's so impressive what they're doing. And they're doing it because they just allow themselves to explore the new, and to experiment, and to try new things. And yes, sometimes it means if you cannot try those new things at work, you have to try outside of work just to enhance those skills. And then once you're confident, you bring them back into the office. Like I didn't do creativity with lawyers when I first started. I did women leadership initiative. I did artistic stuff, very low key, just to gain confidence. And then once I knew I was capable of doing it with law and with legal stuff and people, and then let's do it. And now let's do it for real. Let's not be shy about it. So when I started in 2017 with Legal Creatives, I was not shy at all. And at the time, there were very few people online. Now it's so good. We have a much bigger community. But it was scary that people thought I was crazy back in 2017. Like, what are you doing? What is this thing? We don't get it.
Yeah,
And my
lawyers
parents.
can't improvise. It's not allowed.
And so now it's a little easier for all of us, because there's a lot more people who see the benefit, who see the value, who work in the field, who have also researched. We have a legal design journal now. There's a legal design summit. There's just so much more stuff around. So if Hannele, like when you started, I don't think it was so big as it is today either. So when we started, we gave ourselves permission. Anyone can, it's just giving yourself permission to do it, to try it. And again, if you cannot do it at work right now, maybe you can do it outside of work. Learn a new skill, experiment how it's like. How do you like it? Does it work better? Does your client like it better? And that's also for the redesign of legal information. It doesn't have to be this block of text. It's not written in the law that all the contracts should be in the block of text with Times New Roman 12. It's just a practice we've built along the years, and we have a little bit of a hard time to let go. But today, the information is digital, it's colorful, it has images, multimedia, video, audio, pictures, it's interactive. And the law is going to stay with the block of text, even for privacy policies in terms of use, which are online on websites that are colorful, full of multimedia, and we need to have the block of text. Who say that? We don't. We can design the information in a way that makes more sense for our modern age and modern users.
Definitely.
I'm sure you have seen the Netflix series. What was the name again? With the block of text terms of use. Joanne is awful. Have you seen it?
I don't think I have.
Oh my God! You need to see this. This is just
you have to put the link in the chat.
Netflix had a series recently called Joanne is Awful, and basically, I'm not going to tell you all the story because
don't spoil.
Watch it. But the terms of use, she accepted the terms of use, and she says in the scene, "But what do you mean? I have not read those terms of use. What does it mean in the first place?" And everyone in the film has accepted those terms of use that nobody read, nobody really understood, and then it's just a terrible story. I just have shivers talking about it.
Sorry, but the true one. Because that keeps happening over and over again.
Isabella says lawyers are afraid, but when you encourage them to be creative because they are afraid that their ideas are stupid and ridiculous. Yeah. So exactly. This is sometimes one of the blockage. Oh, I don't have creative ideas. But you know what? The best way to find creative ideas is to have many ideas. Yes. You don't need to find a perfect idea. There is no perfect idea. There are just many ideas like we did, remember? On the board, we had brainstorm questions this time around. We had many questions. There was no question that was better than the other. We just had many questions. And then based on those questions, we're like, oh, okay, we're going to select one. And then we have the voting vote to select the question. So having a process helps. You see, having a process helps. It's fun, it's light, it's productive. What did you think about this activity, Hannele?
It was such a great activity, and it really shows that there are ways to overcome that filter, because you just keep writing whatever comes to your mind or whatever the audience was saying. You just write them down, not like I'm not sure if that is a good idea, or I'm not sure if that is a good way to say it. Just write everything that comes out and then do it in a structured way, and then suddenly you have this outcome that I think that we can actually all agree that it's a good one. Good how might we question for a design process. This has been so fun. This has been so much fun, and as fun as I thought it would be. So it's been so incredible. But before we wrap up, tell us something that you are currently working on in Legal Creatives or outside of Legal Creatives. What's going on?
Well, so many things, because, well, now the problem, once you use your creativity, you have so many ideas, right? So then you have to prioritize. So many things. The first thing I'm working on is I have an upcoming course that is starting on February 15. So I'm working at preparing everything in the background, in the back end, although everything is already there because I've been running this course for many years now. But I always like to improve, make tweaks, adjustments. So this time I've decided to improve the navigation of the course. So I'm working on that, and I'm very excited for this. Other things I'm working on, legal design, legal creatives, I'm working on also finding ways to collaborate together. We have so many legal designers around the world, and we sometimes feel isolated. Sometimes, often feel isolated.
Often.
And and so I'm trying to find a way to build a collective of independent legal designers. And so I've launched this year the legal designers. So we have at this point, we only have a LinkedIn page, but we're having lots of discussion with a small group of people that I've met some years ago who are absolutely fantastic, and we're discussing how we could make this work to work together on projects. And we already have actually some potential projects, so it's exciting. It's exciting. We'll see what will come out of this. So feel free to follow the page, The Legal Designers. And personally, in my life, I'm really working on my surfing right now, and I love it. I have a surfing session later today at the surf pool, and I just love it. It's helping me disconnect. There's no cell phone in when you surf. There's no laptop. There's no social media, and I just love it because I'm always on the computer and cell phone. And my partner told me, now you have to choose. It's either your computer or me. I'm like, okay, I'm going to choose you, and I'm going to figure out.
I choose you and I go surfing.
I'm going to start surfing so I can reduce my computer screen time. So yeah, and it's been really fun. It's been really great.
Oh,
thank you so much for the invitation. Thank you so much for having me on this show. I'm really impressed with the quality of the guests you've had. I was looking yesterday, so many great interviews and talks. So it's been an honor to be here and to share a little bit. And if you allow, I'm going to reshare this video with our newsletter as well.
Yes, please do.
So we can have people watch it in the replay format as well. How did everyone like the show? Let us know in the comment. How did you like the show? How did you like the activity as well? Very curious. You know, that No Wonder quest. Let me know.
I really love it. Yes.
I like it.
What's the best way for people to connect with you if they want to reach out?
You can connect with me on LinkedIn, Tessa Manuello. You can read my name right there. You can also find me on Instagram if you want to see all the surf stories and the wonderful Brazilian beach, because that's all I post right now. I'm
so happy. We have so much snow and water and cold. We don't have the surfing weather now.
Well, you do snowboarding. You can do snowboarding and get ready for the surf season next year. And you can also find more at legalcreatives.com if you would like to check our programs, and send me an email at tessa@legalcreatives.com. So many ways for you to find me.
Perfect. Thank you so much for coming today, and thank you everybody for being so active in the chat and in the exercise. You helped me. I was otherwise we would have been doing that by ourselves. So thank you.
But the activity was a great one. It was a winner today.
Yes,
we had so much
fun. Perfect. Yes. Thank you everybody, and have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.